it's me, and today I'm doing something kind of fun. One of the most popular things that I do on my channel is paint squishies. I've been doing it for years. It was one of the first art-related things that I did on my channel. I sold a lot of my original squishies that I created. Hurts me, but you know, desperate times. I'm still mourning, but I'm getting over it. I do still have a fair amount of my pretty old squishies, and I at least have the ones that I really liked. I thought it would be interesting to look through the squishies that I still have and redo some of them, see what they would look like if I took the same idea but made it now. Here's the bin.
Hi guys, it's been a while.
These were all created probably like 6 years ago or so. This was before I had done any kind of characters. So these are all food related squishies. Lots of cakes, donuts, ice cream, and cupcakes.
Oh my gosh.
This was like kind of the start of my pastel rainbow obsession. This has got to be one of the ones that I recreate. There's nothing that I don't like about it, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't create something this simple now. So I'm gonna try to take this idea and take it to the next level. Are there any more standouts in here? Oh, interesting.
I dropped it.
This one, it's kind of strange and kind of doesn't make sense because it's a cookie sandwich, but it's in the shape of a donut. I used to make them from scratch using molds. You'll see a lot of the same shapes repeated because I only had so many molds. This is kind of cute though. I might actually try to do something with this as well. Oh, this is kind of
Cool.
It's a rainbow bunt cake. I tried to do like some shading on the cake part of it. It's interesting. I feel like this one would be fun though. Okay, I was actually decisive today. So let's see if I can bring these designs up to date. Starting with the pastel rainbow cupcake.
Oh, look, I used to make my own little tags with my own little logo. Aw.
I so clearly remember when I made this cupcake. I loved it so much. So let me not roast my past love. I will say though, it is slightly basic, just a little bit, so I want to make it more interesting. After hunting through the hoard, I found this cupcake, which has a similar shape. I mean, they're both cupcakes. Clearly, there are some major differences here, okay? We've all played a game of spot the difference. Okay, it's not hard to see, but I think I can work with it. Current version of me has a tendency to add cute little creatures and animals to just about everything. So why don't we bring this up to date with a little creature on top? No, not that creature. Not that one. Then I thought, what if I break up the cupcake and the frosting and put in between them a massive cat head? You know what? That's too typical. I need something more unique. How about a jellyfish? That's different. Although without the tentacles, this will just look like a blob. Perfect. I love it. In fact, I love it so much I'm bringing in another one, and you will live right on top there.
Yes.
After a quick sanding, see that face? It's clearly been sanded. I'm gonna start my assembly process. Step 1, separate cupcake and frosting. Next, to de-tentacle this jellyfish. Standard procedure. Oh, and mini guy too. Ready to lose some tentacles? Oh, come on now. It's better this way. You know that. So now we can just put this here and then this on top and then, aha! Beautiful! I have created a cupcake character tower, and these boring jellyfish have been upgraded to blob status. And yes, that is an upgrade. Don't you ever question me again. I don't like the blob on top of the cake. I think the blob needs to replace the cake. So let's just remove all traces of that nasty little cake thing. Okay. Oh, sorry. Skin tag. There we go. That's a better fit. Now to hollow out the frosting a little bit so it sits nicer on the big round blobby head.
Good.
Finally, I'm going to remove the cherry and trim up little Christopher. I don't know where that came from, but Christopher's here. I removed one tier of frosting and then I'm adding the cherry on top. So here's the final configuration. Now to glue and make it permanent, I'm gluing all the layers in place and creating my blob cupcake totem pole thing. And then that massive gouge in the blob's head. You thought I didn't notice that. Come on, sweetie, have some faith. Have I ever let you down? Don't answer that. Anyway, to fix that, I shoved in a nice little lump of extra foam. It came from this ripped up cake. I've been working off of it for months now. Then, using some puffy paint, I'm going to apply that final seal around the seam and apply a thick layer over that little patch that I made. Confession time, I totally rushed that repair job. I got a little overly excited to get into the painting, so I'm just trying to kind of smush it in there and hope for the best. Finishing up here, just going around and filling every gap there is. Once that dried, it's clearly gonna need another coat. Oof, that patch job is brutal. Hoping that coat number 2 fixes everything. Did it? Of course not. So coat number 3 is really my last hope, but that's not great either. I think I'm gonna call it. That's fine. It's good enough. I'm gonna apply a white base coat on this before I get into painting my design. And you can really see the beautiful lumpiness of that.
Let's just keep that on the back of the design, shall we?
Now remember this, girl? I replicated the colors as closely as possible, and I'm gonna create that same pastel rainbow stripe thing as the original. And Little Miss Big Blob is gonna be the pink of the rainbow. Now after applying a nice 2 coats of that color on here, I went over all of that and started blending the colors together. Now this is a deviation from the original. The original has clean stripes of color, not blendy, but I do remember that I used stripes like this because I didn't think that I could do the blending properly. I was scared, okay? I was scared. If I could have made a blendy rainbow back in the day, I would have. So now I'm here to make the old me proud. Look at us. We're blending the colors on a rainbow cupcake. Once I got it looking nice enough, I painted the frosting. I noticed that the original frosting had kind of an off-white color. Although, yes, the original frosting is flat and drippy. This frosting is full and not drippy. It's the same cupcake though. It's just at different temperatures. This is the cupcake at room temperature, and this is the cupcake on a very hot day. For the face of Little Miss Big Blob, I don't know why I insist on calling her that, I went really sweet and simple, added some nice pink cheeks, some big bold eyes, and a little smile. And then to make her kind of special, I added some pastel rainbow freckles and stars on her cheeks.
Oh, it looks so sweet.
But why do I hate it? Oh, the eyebrows. Yeah, it was the eyebrows. Finish that off with some little shinies, and then it's time to address Lil Christopher. How you doing, buddy? Hanging in there? I decided to paint him purple. As soon as I did this, I immediately recognized him. Oh my gosh, it's you.
Who am I?
It's the little naked blob from my Russian nesting blob set. What? How did you get here? And who knew your name was Christopher? Okay, so it's Christopher the naked blob, though he is hidden in a pool of frosting. We all still know he's naked Christopher. I will acknowledge that many of my blob characters are unclothed. However, Christopher is the only one who is naked. There's a difference.
I don't get it.
I added a little weird cherry stem to the top. Looks like a worm. Let's ignore that. And boom, here is the final design. I still love the original design, but I was able to take everything I loved about the original, except for those drips, which are kind of gorgeous and I miss them just a little bit, but make it into a refreshed version that's more similar to my current style. And I think it's just a little bit more unique and interesting. Plus, the surprise guest star, Christopher, oh, the naked Christopher. When will you learn to be less
naked?
Okay, next I'm going to work on the rainbow bunt cake. Or is it a cruller donut? I don't know. We got another rainbow design, but this one is a bright rainbow versus pastels, so it's very different. I think this is a really fun design, but it's also very predictable. Even the way I painted the drips is like ding, 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 ding. Can't we have some variety? Come on, girl.
It's very cool.
I couldn't find any squishies in my current collection that are exactly like this. This is the closest that I've got. It's a bunt cake with some fruit on it. Obviously, they're very different, but they both have the circular bunt thing with drippy sauce. Now, I could just paint this with rainbow sauce and call it a day, but I want to take it up a notch. So, bring in the creature.
Oh my gosh, it's Wilfred.
I forgot he was originally footless or feetless. I found this little bunny squishy and I thought it was a good size for the top of this, but it just didn't seem to make sense. Why is Wilfred on the top of a bunt cake? What's happening? Then I found this little dude and oh, I have an idea. There's a story coming. To prep this, I just need to remove the little keychain, which was really stuck in there. What is all of that? Next, I just cut off the face.
Gorgeous.
This little character is gonna sit right in the pile of berries. So to make him fit a little bit better, I had to remove the insides of the berries. Oh, isn't that so much better? Look at him. Let me just glue him down, and then with some puffy paint, I'm gonna seal everything in and just make it look seamless. There were a lot of rough spots to go over on this one. Once all of that was dry, I went in with a nice base coat, and poof, I'm ready to paint. I'm starting with the cake portion. This is kind of the boring part, so let's just get it over with. While my blending attempts on the original are extremely superb, I do want to try to improve on that a little bit, so I'm trying to create a nice baked look by going back and forth between these two different tones of tan. There we go. I think it's at least a little bit neater. Moving on to the color. I'm sticking to all the same colors and just going to take those from the original design, so I'm throwing on the full rainbow of colors all the way around. This was really fun. I feel like I haven't worked with this bold of colors in a while. I'm most often going for softer colors, so I was enjoying, the intensity of these colors. After a few layers of that, we're really starting to capture the vibe here. They are soul sisters. But once again, I decided that blending the colors was gonna make this look so much better, so I simply have to do it. Look at this blending job. Ooh, it's so scrumptious. I just want to consume it. Now on to the even more exciting part. Can you believe it?
It gets more exciting than this.
Now this dessert is topped with a few luscious strawberries, but as you can see here, our mischievous little friend, let's call him Max. He has taken hold of one of the strawberries. So while I struggle to create his face, let me tell you about him. This is not a cute and innocent,
Ooh, I'm cuddling with strawberries on a cake.
Max is trying to steal this strawberry. This cake is not his. He has no right to it, but Max has decided that he is hungry and he is going to help himself. This is not the first time he's done something like this. They used to call him Max, the monkey bandit of strawberries. Just look at that face. He's evil. So after getting caught stealing strawberries on multiple occasions, he's gotten a little clever here. He noticed Wilfred sniffing around this cake earlier, and of course everyone knows Wilfred would never do anything malicious. He's just not capable. So Max decides to wear a Wilfred disguise. He's wearing a cow print bunny suit, so everyone thinks he's Wilfred. Apparently his attention to detail is not that great, because Wilfred's cow costume doesn't cover his yellow ears. But Max is a bandit, not a costume designer. Just a few little details left of this design until finally it's finished. Clearly the inspiration from the original is there. I do really like the story behind it. He's given me Derek vibes. Those two should never be introduced. It would be chaos. Oh, here's Wilfred come to visit.
Hey, buddy.
Notice anything odd here? Hint, hint. You're being framed. Nope. Oh, okay. Of course he doesn't get it. I really do like this one, but I do feel like if you didn't know the story, you would be like, why in the world are these things coexisting? But I gotta love it. The last squishy project I'm gonna do is the cookie sandwich donut thing. Oh, this one doesn't have perfectly coordinated tag.
And here's the tag.
Boo!
Now, if I could have made this out of cookies instead of a donut, I would have. So that's basically what I'm gonna do now. I have this cookie squishy, these cookies squishy, this squishy of cookies.
What?
While this does include 2 cookies, to separate them would mean to completely scalp the bottom one. Not gonna work. So look at that, I found another one. This one's been quarantined to a plastic bag because it's been scribbled on with black marker, which has a tendency to get all over the place. So it's gonna take all 4 of the cookies to make my sandwich, plus this entire cake. This was the only squishy that I could find that was the right size and shape to create a cream filling. It's very cute, but don't get too attached to it because destruction is near. First, I need to work on separating the cookie stacks. I'm just making use of the top cookie. There we go. Then I need to remove all the toppings from the cake. You are no longer a cake, sir. Put them all together, and that's a bit intense. I mean, I like cookie sandwiches, but boy, that's a little much. That's like 10,000 calories right there. Let's not. I decided to remove the top and bottom cake layers and just keep the 2 layers of cream and that middle cake layer, which I will turn into a cookie. It's a triple-decker cookie sandwich. Still very intense, still many calories. So of course I need to glue these all together, work on sealing up the seams, and then applying the base coat.
Yay, we're ready.
Let's get painting. For this squishy, I decided not to add a character to it, so I'm not really changing the original idea much at all. I'm hoping to improve the quality of the paint job by adding some nice little shading to the cookie, making it look a little bit more realistic and appetizing. Also, just the fact that it is a cookie should help a lot. This was actually really easy to do and relaxing. So much easier than trying to paint on tiny little evil faces. After I had done one round of shading, I wanted to emphasize it a little bit more, so I added some areas of deeper shading as well, and here is the final result. This one was honestly so easy, didn't take me that long at all, but I do think it's a big improvement. This is basically what I was envisioning when I made the original, but I just didn't exactly know at the time how to get it to look like this, so I'm glad that I could redeem it. This was a really fun way to reuse some old ideas, and I think I ended up with 3 really nice squishies that I like a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!